Jesse Maragdag, and this is my video lecture or documentary for my attorney journey or Bar 2024 journey. And this serves as proof that I studied a lot and tried to understand the concepts of the law. So, if I will be successful and I will become a lawyer this year, I will share with you this experience. I don't have any notes, just this video lecture. So I believe that this will help me to become a lawyer. That is why I'm doing this, and I will just share with you this video because some of you can use this video recording because sometimes we tend to forget the lectures in law school, or you're like me, you don't have any notes, but you also want to experience to watch videos because I believe not all concepts of the law are already in YouTube. So as far uh, as I can, or how do you say this? With the best of my abilities, I'll try just to share um, everything within my capacity, including the resources I have to share in this video. So let's begin. I'll begin with the last part of the Bar 2024 syllabus, which is legal and judicial ethics. Let's go first with the basic concepts on admission to the practice of law. So we have Supreme Court's administrative supervision and control over members of the Philippine Bar. As stated in Section 5, uh, Paragraph 5 of the 1987 Constitution, in Article 8, the Supreme Court shall have the following powers, particularly to promulgate rules, right, concerning the protection and enforcement of constitutional rights, the pleading, practice, and procedure in all courts, the admission to the practice of law, the integrated bar, and legal assistance to the underprivileged. So such rules shall provide a simplified and inexpensive procedure for the speedy disposition of cases, and it shall be uniform for all courts of the same grade and shall not diminish, increase, or modify substantive rights. The rules of procedure of special courts and quasi-judicial bodies shall remain effective unless disapproved by the Supreme Court. We have the case of Pimentel versus LEB in 2019. The issue is that LEB's power under RA 7662 vis-a-vis the court's jurisdiction under Article 8, Section 5, Paragraph 5 of the Constitution. So one of the general objectives of legal education under Section 3, Paragraph A, number 2 of RA number 7662 is to increase awareness among the members of the legal profession of the needs of the poor, the deprived and oppressed sectors of society. This provision goes beyond the scope of RA number 7662. Example is the improvement of the quality of legal education and instead delves into the training of those who are already members of the bar. Likewise, the objective is a direct encroachment on the power of the court to promulgate rules concerning the practice of law and legal assistance to the underprivileged and should thus be voided on this ground. Further, Section 7, Paragraph G of RA 7662 grants LEB the power to establish a law practice internship as a requirement for taking the bar examinations. And it is clear from the plain text of Section 7, Paragraph G that another requirement, which is the completion of a law internship program, is imposed by law for taking the bar examinations. This requirement unduly interferes with the exclusive jurisdiction of the court to promulgate rules concerning the practice of law and admissions thereto. This is a direct encroachment upon the court's exclusive authority to promulgate rules concerning the admissions to the bar and should therefore be struck down as unconstitutional. So the jurisdiction to determine whether an applicant may be allowed to take the bar examination belongs to the Supreme Court. And additionally, the clause continuing legal education under Section 2, Paragraph 2, and Section 7, Paragraph H of RA 762, unduly gives the LEB the power to supervise the legal education of those who are already members of the bar. So those are already lawyers. Inasmuch as the LEB is authorized to compel mandatory attendance of practicing lawyers in such courses and for such duration as the LEB deems necessary, the same encroaches upon the court's power to promulgate rules concerning the integrated bar, which includes the education of lawyer professors, as teaching of law is also practice of law. The mandatory continuing legal education of the members of the bar is in fact covered by BM number 850 or the rules on MCLE. As for the conduct of PhilSat, pursuant to Section 7, Paragraph E or of RA 7662, which gives the LEB the power to prescribe the minimum standards for law admission, the court finds no constitutional conflict between its rulemaking power and the power of the LEB to prescribe the minimum standards for law admission under Section 7, Paragraph E of the same law. So consequently, the PhilSat, which intends to regulate admission to law schools, cannot be voided on this ground. And the phrase law admission pertains to the admission to the study of law or to legal education and not to the practice of law. And in 2021, in Pimentel versus LEB, the provisions of RA 7662 as a law meant to uplift the quality of legal education, and it does not encroach upon the court's jurisdiction to promulgate rules under Section 5, Paragraph 5, Article 8 of the Constitution, because it is well within the jurisdiction of the state as an exercise of its inherent police power to lay down laws relative to legal education, because the same being imbued with public interest. So while the court is undoubtedly an interested stakeholder in legal education, it cannot assume jurisdiction where it has none. Instead, in judicial humility, the court affirms that the supervision and regulation of legal education is a political exercise where judges are nevertheless still allowed to participate not as an independent branch of government but as a part of the sovereign people. So for the last case, we have regarding the request of PAO. It is the case of uh, PAO Chief Attorney Persida Acosta. Okay, it's a 2023 en banc resolution by the Supreme Court, where it states that the exclusive authority of the court to prescribe the standards of conduct that the members of the bar must observe stems from its constitutional mandate to regulate the admission to the practice of law, which necessarily includes the authority to regulate the practice of law itself under Section 5, Paragraph 5 of Article 8 of the Constitution. And in the exercise of the powers granted to it by the above court provision, the court adopted the CPR or Code of Professional Responsibility in 1988. And more than 30 years later, the court promulgated the CPRA, which superseded the CPR. And this is contrary to Attorney Acosta's claims. Thus, the court was exercising a constitutionally vested power when it promulgated the CPRA. So for our next video, we'll discuss the requisites for admission to the practice of law.